This One's Wife, Fuming in Montecito. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Fuel. Fuel is the lifeblood of the narcissist. It's provided by people, appliances. If you want to understand what it is, how it functions in relation to the narcissist, how important it is to the narcissist and what it does, you can do no better than read my book, Fuel. It's available on Amazon, or you can obtain it from the Knowledge Vault, link in the video description. The narcissism operates to ensure that the narcissist draws fuel. There are lots of different ways that fuel can be obtained, in lots of different circumstances, and through lots of different manipulations. Perhaps one of the chief methods of drawing fuel is for the narcissist to attend a prestigious event, which is then reported on around the world. A headline event that is attended by notable individuals, heavyweights from various fields around the world, which is then reported on through a variety of media outlets. Being involved in such an event, being at the centre of it, where all eyes are upon the narcissist, is a fuel fest. Pipeline after pipeline pumping that precious fuel towards the narcissist. There was such an event that took place last night, where, as a consequence of President Trump's second state visit to the United Kingdom, a state dinner took place at St. George's Hall, with President Trump as guest of honour. Naturally, President Trump will have been well fueled, but this video isn't about him. Instead, the list of attendees at the state banquet are a veritable who's who of people of influence. If you have an opportunity, get hold of the list and have a read of it. I'm not going to go through it all as it would take some time, but I'm just going to give you some examples. It's peppered with CEOs. Sam Altman's there, the CEO of OpenAI, while Sawan, the CEO of Shell, is there. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, is there. Dr. Charles Woodburn, CEO of BAE Systems. You have the chair of the Football Association, Debbie Hewitt. You've got the chief of MI6, Sir Richard Moore. John Ratcliffe, the former US Director of National Intelligence. The Governor of the Bank of England is in attendance, Andrew Bailey. The Director of GCHQ, Anne Keast Butler. You have the Director General, Sir Kenneth McCallum of MI5. You have politicians. Ed Balls, who used to be an MP, spouse of the Foreign Secretary. Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, was there. Sir Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, was there, naturally. Donald Trump, the President of the United States. You had Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. Larry Fink, Chairman and CEO of BlackRock. You have Sir Demis Hassabis, the CEO and co-founder of DeepMind. There are various courtiers of seniority in attendance. The US ambassador to the UK is there. The leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, was there. Sir Nick Faldo, a golfer and broadcaster. Naturally, members of royalty, the King, the Princess Royal, Prince of Wales, and the Princess of Wales. Some real heavyweights in terms of influence and positions of power, irrespective of what you might think about them as individuals. The fact is, there was political representation, intelligence representation, commerce, technology, politics, royalty, all came together at this prestigious event. But not only that, you have the Prince and Princess of Wales, as you can see from the pictures, The Princess of Wales looking elegant and beautiful as usual. William looking smart and handsome. And all of this was reported on around the world. For instance, in the Times, New York Fashion Week has just come to a close, but it was a 50-metre-long table in Windsor Castle that proved the most glamorous catwalk this week. Forget the front row's preferred understated stealth wealth look in St George's Hall on Wednesday night. Little effort was made to hide the bling. Instead, it came on an imperial scale. The Princess of Wales wore high-necked and hand-embroidered gold filigree lace coat created by the British, usually bridal, designer Philippa Lepley over a strapless white silk gown. Kate's newly blonde hair was loose but topped with the Cambridge Lovers' Knot tiara created in 1913 for Queen Mary by Gerard. Melania Trump certainly caught the eye with her bright yellow dress that she wore. Primrose yellow colonnes dress by Carolina Herrera. Ooh, do we know somebody else who likes to wear Carolina Herrera? We do, don't we? And at that seating plan that I mentioned earlier on, naturally, at the centre of matters, you have the King, to his right, Donald Trump, to his left, Marco Rubio. And for the Donald, he's naturally got the King to his left, and who's on his right? The Princess of Wales. And as you can see from the pictures, he was certainly enraptured by her presence, smiling and looking on her favourably. Now, as you know, Catherine is not a narcissist. She is an empathic individual. And naturally, she will enjoy the attention because people do enjoy attention. But can you imagine the reaction at Monty Shit Show? Because being some 8 hours behind, as the evening arrives and this banquet takes place and it starts to be covered in the press, you know that there would be somebody who'd already embarked upon her day drinking, who would be rage scrolling, and there she sees the nemesis and the one that got away in a most photogenic picture, dressed up to the nines, strolling along. The King and Queen Camilla, the Princess Royal and her husband, the Donald and Melania Trump. All of those names in that room, many of them looking at the Princess of Wales, not looking at this one's wife. Inside, part of her would be screaming, "That should be me." Irrespective of the fact that she walked away from the royal family because she thinks she knows best, demonstrating the typical having one's cake and eating it attitude of the narcissist, her narcissism would have been telling her, that should be you. You should be there next to Donald Trump. You should be sat there at this state banquet. You should be the one that is sat with the son-in-law of President Trump on your right and the President of the United States on your left. And it's her, the nemesis, that has got that position. The fact that she wasn't there will wound this one's wife. Be under no illusion. It doesn't matter that she wasn't invited in the first place because she's not a working royal. It doesn't matter that she chose to walk away from the royal family. That's irrelevant, because what she will see is her nemesis and the one that got away at the centre of it all, with all of those names, all of those opportunities for networking, all of the prestige that comes with it, all of the fuel that would be flowing, all of the reportage that comes with it, the ability to manage the facade and receive more fuel. And her narcissism is screaming that she ought to be amongst it all, that she should be the one that's being photographed and looking glamorous. But of course, she's not. And she doesn't sit there and say, oh, well, I had my chance and I decided not to take it, so I made an alternative decision and I'm happy with that. No. The wound burns within her. And she has to fight back. Her narcissism demands it, compels it, that she does something to try and bring the attention back onto her. Like any narcissist, the narcissism looks amongst the armory to see what manipulation might be utilized in order to bring the attention back onto them. In some instances, you know, it might be at a funeral where the narcissist throws themselves on the coffin wailing, "Oh, how I miss you, Uncle Albert," in order to cause people to look at them. Or at somebody's birthday party, knocking over the birthday cake so all eyes are upon them, creating some kind of drama in order to gather that fuel. What can this one's wife come up with? Well, this. Yes, posted to the As Ever account. Once again, the utilization of social media in the pursuit of the prime aims. It's a picture of, predictably, this one's wife in the garden at Montecito, wearing the hat, peering into an urn. Maybe she's wondering why there is a turd curled at the bottom of it. Perhaps Harry was caught short for the bathroom. And there she is, appearing to be, I think, they look like strawberry plants. So she's trying to make it look like she's engaged in picking some strawberries. And it's accompanied by her usual fridge magnet platitude, "Seasons shift, but the garden stays magic." Wow, whoopie fucking do. Across the Atlantic, the nemesis is there, dressed up to the nines, chatting away with President Trump, amongst the CEOs and the politicians and the spooks. And what's this one's wife got by way of retaliation? A picture of her in a garden, picking strawberries. That's it. Nothing glamorous, nothing amazing, and on her own. It is a stark and notable contrast that as she will have sat there slurping on her Pinot Grigio, she won't drink her own rosé. Good Lord, no, it tastes awful. She will have been rage-scrolling at the coverage of the Princess of Wales. More evolved narcissists wouldn't bother. They might glance at it and then move on. But this one's wife can't help herself. She has a fixation, an obsession in relation to the Waleses, and her narcissism will have compelled her to look, and when she has seen how Catherine looks, how William looks, the occasion, the glamour, the pomp and circumstance, the fact that it's the President of the United States, even though she doesn't like him, it doesn't matter. The fact is, this is a biggie, a state banquet with all of those notable names there, and she's not involved. Even worse, she's not involved, and Catherine is. There'll have been shrieks of annoyance, possibly plate smashing, and the best that she can muster up in order to try and bring attention back onto herself, a crappy picture of her leaning over an urn in her garden on her own. This demonstrates the gulf in class, prestige and status that exists. This one's wife will have you think that she doesn't care, but she does. She would love to be in Catherine's shoes. She'll deny it if you were to ask her of it, but the fact is she would, because being in Catherine's shoes would allow her to be with William, would allow her to interface with all of those individuals and subconsciously be drawing massive amounts of fuel and then being seen on the world stage. A state banquet with the President of the United States and the list of attendees that I've mentioned is absolute manna from heaven for a somatic narcissist such as this one's wife. And she didn't have it. And worse for her, Catherine did. She will have been furious, fuming, possibly whatever she touched set on fire yesterday. Such was the level of her rage. And the best that she can come up with by way of retaliation is this shitty photograph posted to Instagram. Tells you everything you need to know about the basic woman that is the narcissist that is this one's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.